So let's talk about chart settings. So there's a lot of different settings that you can play around with. And once again, the best thing is I encourage you to play around with them because you could always just select undo or just revert back to that previous version in case something gets messed up that you don't know how to fix. So in the top left section, there are 3 lines. This is like our main menu button. The first option we'll see is the layout that you're currently using. If you're using a free account, you are given 1 layout, and that's your maximum amount of layouts you have. I have a paid version. There's a lot of different paid versions that you can have for TradingView. I chose, I think, the Pro option. So if you're interested in that, we could take a look at the different offerings for TradingView later on in this lesson. So as you see, I have this one is a fresh layout. I also have my own personalized one, but if I wanted to create a new one, if I want to save the layout, that's the option in terms of saving as well. There's an auto save option. Some people like to have the charts just automatically saved depending on what they're doing. I personally don't because I like to do a lot of drawings and I like to edit my charts a lot, whether I'm posting on Twitter or posting for an analysis. So I don't like to just have it auto save. I like to have the chart set up in a certain way. That way I can play around with it, and in case something goes wrong, I can always go back to that saved preferred state of the chart. There's a sharing option as well where you can just link the chart where anyone with the link can view and copy the chart. That's if that's something that you're interested in. You can rename your layout, make a copy, export chart data. If you want to do a quick search as well, here's your account as well. So you can take a look at the different plans, the profile, the account and billing, any referred friends as well. And there's a help center, what's new, and maybe new features to TradingView as well. If you want to go back to the home page, this is how you would do it. Otherwise, you would have to type back in TradingView.com, and that'll take you back to the home page as well. Now, by default, TradingView looks like this. So in case you've never used it before, you're probably seeing this white screen. I personally can't look at a white screen all day as much as I look at charts. So I use the dark color theme to essentially make everything darker, and it's much easier on the eyes, especially if you're going to be looking at charts for any extended period of time. Some people like the white charts. That's a preference, more power to you. I really want to preserve my eyesight. You also see the option to hide the drawing panel in case that's something that you don't want to use or don't want to have over there. I personally like to keep it out because, once again, I do a lot of drawings. Here's our language option, so you can change the language in case you want to really dive into the keyboard shortcuts. You can click on that as well. Here's an option for the desktop app in case you want to download the desktop app. I hear that it does perform better than using the browser. Me personally, I just use the browser. I haven't had any issues with using the browser version of TradingView, but I have heard that the performance is improved on the desktop app. And you can also see the option to sign out as well. Now, beyond that, there are options within the chart. So you can either right click on the middle of the chart, or you can click on this little cog wheel in the top right section. When I right click on the middle of the chart, you'll see a lot of different options such as reset chart. So if you want to reset it back to its saved state, there's your option as well. In case you need to save quickly, you can click on this little cloud option, and that will save all charts for all symbols and intervals on your layout. So any drawings, so in case I do some sort of drawing, as you'll see, there's no check, but once I click on it, now there's a check, meaning that this state is saved. But let's say I don't want to have that there. I don't want to have this drawing. I can hit reset chart, or let's see, do that. And let's say I want to reset the chart. Now the chart is reset in terms of scale. If I want to get rid of these drawings, I can go to this garbage can, click on that garbage can, all the drawings are gone. Back to this right click menu, in case I want to copy and paste something. Let's say I had some sort of drawing, I'm measuring out these waves maybe, and let's say I want to copy, I can copy it and then maybe I could paste it here. You can also copy and paste using Control V as well. That's another option as well. Maybe I want to measure out some sort of waves, or maybe I want to copy some sort of drawing. You'll also see options to add alerts, which we'll cover very shortly. Options to trade using the built-in trading platform. We'll take a look at that as well in an upcoming video. The watch list, which we'll touch upon soon, and different color themes. So in case you want to add indicators, maybe you want to change some of these lines, and there's also a settings option for the chart. And here we see different options to change the colors and different things that you want to alter. For some people I've seen on Twitter, I personally like the green and red basic chart colors, but I've seen some people change these to different colors, maybe some sort of colorblind settings, where instead of a green chart, instead of a green candle indicating that the price went up, I've seen people use blue and purple. For some people that's easier on their eyes. You can also alter whether or not the borders of the candles are filled in, or if the wicks are there. You can also change that. You can change the colors of just the wicks. There's a lot of different options here. Below that, you'll also see options for time zone. So I live in New York. In New York, so I use UTC -5 for that East Coast, Eastern Standard Time zone. You want to set this to wherever your nearest, wherever you are located. That way you have the most accurate chart reading and the time readings as well. Bitcoin is a global market, so the market truly never closes. What is considered a new day is the new day in UTC, that universal time. So for me in New York, the new day would start at 7:00 p.m. Whereas if you were in LA, that would be a different time. If you are in Beijing, that would be a different time. If you're in London, that would be a different time. So you want to make sure that this is set to your time zone, and be aware that the new day for Bitcoin always starts on that zero on the new day of UTC. Diving more into these options, you'll see just different options for the status line, open, high, low, close values. We'll talk more about open, high, low, and close, and what that means in an upcoming video. But as you can see, all of these different numbers, this can be hidden or shown, or you can even change the color of them, bar change values, open market status. So here you'll see this green dot indicates that the market is open, and you'll see that crypto markets are always open. So that's not really something that you have to be concerned with. Whereas if you're trading stocks, or you're trading traditional market assets, those markets are not 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know, if you're trading Apple shares, that market is only open from for 8 hours, give or take, depending on when you're looking at it. If you're really from 9 to 4 o'clock East Coast time, that's really when that market is open. So you'll see if you're in the middle of the night looking at Apple, you'll see that the market is closed. This will be a red dot. Whereas with Bitcoin, you'll always see that the market is open. Taking a look at other options here, we see appearances, trading options, and also events. If you want to show dividends or maybe some sort of earnings calls on the chart, that's useful once again for traditional markets. In crypto, we don't really see dividends given out or earnings calls on the charts as well. Now, finally, one of the last chart settings that we'll take a look at is in the bottom right section. So as you'll see, my chart automatically is shaped to my screen. The chart automatically, as I go from left to right or I zoom in, the proportions of the candles automatically adjust. Now, if I take that off, this toggle auto scale, and I scroll left and right, up and down, that doesn't happen anymore. Now I have to manually adjust the x-axis and the y-axis to get the candles to appear to the size and shape that I want it to. Now if I click auto, if I scroll left and right or zoom in and out, the candles automatically adjust. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Sometimes it's useful to have auto set on. Sometimes it's useful to turn it off in case you want to look at a specific time and point and you're not able to adjust the candles to the way you want it to. So you could just turn that off, and maybe you want to just look at just this range of Bitcoin's price action back in October 19th. You can just adjust and see exactly what happened within this month, essentially this month time span. Going back to auto, here you'll see next to it is logarithmic. Now currently here we see essentially the scale of this chart is even, where we see all values, all increases in value, whether it's $4,000 from 12,000 to 16 or $4,000 from 48 to 52, all occupy the same space. The candles will all be the same size, whether that was a $4,000 increase from 12 to 16, which if you're thinking about it, a 4,000 increase from 12 to 16 is much bigger compared from 48 to 52 percentage wise. What we can do is click on logarithmic, and now the chart will be based on a logarithmic scale, where now instead of seeing Bitcoin with all these peaks and valleys and extreme low price valuation, as we see here in 2015 and 2016, it came up, it came down. If we put on logarithmic, it essentially smooths out the curve, and we start to look at this more on a percentage gain scale, where now the gain from 3,000 to 13,000 from February, March 2019 up until June 2019, that was a much bigger valuation increase. As we see here, that was a 232 percentage increase. That was a much bigger percentage increase than from, let's say, from $29,000 to $46,000 per Bitcoin, which this is really only a 60% increase. It's still a large increase, but it's not as big from compared to 3,000 to 12,000. So sometimes you may want to opt to use logarithmic scale to take a broader look and to take a look at Bitcoin and or really any asset's performance based on its percentage gain, the major valuation increase, and not just the set number increase where, oh, Bitcoin went up $4,000. And there's a bigger difference between Bitcoin going up $4,000 when it was only $3,000 per Bitcoin, as opposed to when it's already $40,000 per Bitcoin.